Hello, everybody. This is Sharonda, and this is my podcast, Spiritual Sense. Today is Thursday, which is January the 6th, and of 2022. So, this is the year for greatness as we walk in excellence, or I should say, this is the year of excellence as we walk in greatness. So, I am going to do my reading for today. Today, I am going to work with my AE Weight tarot cards for today. And for those who may be listening in, I am doing this live. I'm not doing the webinar podcast. I'm deciding that I'm going to only do presentations over my webinar for my YouTube channel for certain episodes, and I may begin to just do webinars for my holistic health, and I would do presentations, audio presentations via my Spreaker for my Health Matters podcast, as well as for my Spiritual Sense podcast, my holistic health, and my ancient ancestry. I may continue to do web presentations for those. Okay, so I had a card to fall out, which is the Four of Pentacles. So I'm going to place that off to the side. Okay. So this podcast is for entertainment purposes. That means if it just so happened that it coincides with something that you're dealing with, that may be by chance or even by happenstance. I don't go snooping and prying and probing in anyone's personal affairs and then presenting it here on this podcast, okay? So if it's something that you're of interest, this is of interest to you, then you can, comment below or, in the comments, questions, or suggestions. No inappropriate questions, comments, or suggestions. If it's something that does not interest you, well, there's maybe other podcasts that may be of interest to you. So, I go over things such as the paranormal, supernatural, angels, demons, pagan belief systems and practices. I incorporate the tarot card reading. And so, I'm going to say a prayer. Supreme Being of all being. I don't know what this reading is on today, but I do feel like it's a relevant reading. Send your protective angels, warrior angels, and spirit guides around to protect me and shield me from any injury, harm, or danger. No weapon formed against me, nor my children or family shall prosper, as it is said it is so. I declare and I decree in your name. Also, I would like to get wisdom, understanding, knowledge, and capability and insight as I am doing my reading. So let me proceed. I'm going to pull out my cards. Now, I favor the 10 card Celtic Cross, which comprises of 6 cards in a cross. And then you have the 4 additional cards. Card 1 being on the person, situation, or some type of clarity or insight. Card 2 is going to be the blockage or hindrance or obstacle. Card 3 is where you're trying to attain or what's above that situation. Card 4 is going to be the root of the issue. It may not necessarily be my issue, but this can be the very reasoning for whatever the obstacle is. Card 5 is going to be what's occurring or what occurred in the past. Card 6 is going to be what's occurring or what is to come or what it's leading to. Card 7 is going to be this attitude and or morale. Card 8 is what's physically surrounding, like what do you see around this person physically, as well as what do you sense, like what do you sense in your third eye, what comes to mind about this situation or this person, or if it's insight. Card 9 is going to be hopes, fears, and dreams. Oftentimes, what we hope for, what we dream of, is also something that we are in fear of. Card 10 is going to be the outcome. What is the outcome? Oftentimes, when I do a reading and I have an outcome, maybe, I'm not going to say all of the time, but some of the time, I have supporting that. So I may pull out, either my Moonology cards or most often my angelic cards to give me more clarity on the situation. Okay? So I said I wanted to move forward towards positive readings. Because sometimes I can pick up energy. I'm human like anybody else. I can pick up negative energy like a sponge, but by me being an empath, and sometimes it's projected in my readings or even in my webinars. And I say, okay, well, and for the 2022 year, I am going to pull back and try to, diffuse a lot of that negative energy, because this year is your year. This is your year for excellence. This is your year to walk in greatness. And we want to focus on that, okay? Now, although I mentioned we want to focus on walking in greatness and positivity, I also want to be conscientious, because, everything is not going to be, as I always like to say, dandelions and roses or peaches and cream sort of thing. So you're going to have to be mindful of, the God forbidden as well. Okay? So let me proceed to pull my cards. And again, I am working with my AE weight card, so just a moment. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And I'm going to proceed to spread those cards. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So, for my reading, I have the Knight of Wands for card 1. For card 2, which is the obstacle or the barrier, I have Ace of Cups. Card 3, this is what's above the situation. I have the Hermit card. Card 4, this is the root of the issue or the reason, and I have 8 of Pentacles. Let's see. Card 5, I have King of Cups. Card 6, I have 5 of Cups. Somehow I feel like this reading is in regards to, I don't want to be negative. I don't. But somehow I feel like this reading is in regards to domestic violence awareness. That's what I feel. In saying that, I feel as though there is a covert operation in place to be aware of those individuals who have been subject to domestic violence and who are prone to domestic violence, okay? And right now I showed that a lot of it is being perpetuated by people that are in their inner circles right now. I do. um, they will put it on a relationship. They will put it on a marriage. They will put it on everything but the right thing. I feel like there's more than meets the eye is what I'm getting at. And what do I mean by that? Well, we as professionals that service the community, our job is to do things in an objective order. We don't want to get captivated or involved in people's personal affairs. Meaning we want to leave our feelings outside when we come through the doors of individuals that we are in a company with. That's what that means. And so, because you do have them that will, get into certain entities and get into certain power or roles of authority and power, and they mishandle and misuse that authority is the point. So we want people that are in seats that are able to empathize, have some sympathy, and be able to see it with a objective ear. We don't want anybody that's going to be for a lack of a better word, take things personal and get involved by their own driven personal means. And many of times you will find those entities or those spirits infiltrate in professions of authority. And they'll perpetuate that negative energy out into the atmosphere. And that's how you will be able to detect when things are about to transpire or occur. So this is what this reading is in reference to today. It's not necessarily just, boyfriend, girlfriend, domestic violence, but violence, period. I mean, whether it's workplace violence, where it's, violence within the community. I mean, it's not just domestic violence, it's just violence in itself. Okay? And so, being someone of service, of course you got feelings like the next person. I'm not telling you, to be cold and abrasive and not to show any emotions or any concerns and things of that nature. No. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is be the listening ear, meaning use better judgment, but try not to judge, if that makes sense. I know that's an oxymoron type of situation, but if you could just listen with a open heart. And so, in this reading, I do show that it's in reference to violence. I do. I show, because I have the Hermit card, where people are secluded, they're alone, and things of that nature. And so, when you're dealing with struggle, I mentioned this in, a couple of, episodes ago on my podcast in regards to ego and the struggle of the ego and things like that. At times such as this, where one person may feel, the next person is outdoing them or whatever the case may be. Sometimes you may have a power struggle. You may. And they could try to hide it, but it is what it is. It is what it is. We want to focus on that and diffusing that energy. Some people are completely, utterly fine with, letting someone have their way. Versus many other people feel like, okay, I need to engage. I need to, get out and about and engage and integrate with the community and, be sociable and socialize and things of that nature as well. Okay? But somehow I felt the need to speak on this. And I'm going to give you an account because many times I may have something to come up in the news, and I figure, okay, maybe I need to speak on this. So I don't feel like this reading that I'm necessarily being spiritually pulled in this reading, but somehow I felt the need to speak on this, okay? So this is an insightful reading. Part 7, I have Page of Cups, the attitude. That's what I have for part 7. Part 8, I have 5 of Pentacles. So that lets me know that, I did mention in reference to a reading that came about that we want to focus on domestic violence in terms of the younger population right now, because, a lot of people don't feel or are not able to capture domestic violence amongst our younger population, but it does exist. It does happen. It does. And where there may be some struggles in terms of things that need to be done, particularly if there's some other things, external things going on within the situation. Okay, so hopes, fears, and dreams. So I show 7 of Cups. Oftentimes when I get that card, is in relation to an illusion or something that is not to be taken for what it is. So, in saying that, this is how come I have, being in the profession that I am in, take on, it's not necessarily that I don't care, but when you are dealing with certain situations, many of the time you'll find people just want to play on your intelligence. Now, I understand that it's not my problem or my concern when I'm dealing with certain situations to be concerned with what someone is trying to do in terms of my intellect, particularly if I'm there to do the job. But what I mean by that is, my job is to do, report what is being told, report what I see, and then go forward from there. Who did what, how they did it, and all these other things are not something that I feel like it's my responsibility. Okay? And so this is what I have here for the 9 of Cups. Because oftentimes you will see how mischievous, deviant, devilish spirits operate. And you will be very surprised as to how they operate, even on a so-called, quote-unquote, professional level. Okay? And I'll leave it at that. So card 9, I have 4 of Cups. So, I feel as though a lot of the domestic violence situations that are occurring is because of people feeling like they're not getting their fair share. Like they feel as though, they're not being supported. No one is supporting me. I go out of my way to do these things and no one sees it my way. No one sees it my way. No one understands how I feel. And it's not just in, a domestic situation, that could be in terms of workplace environment as well, because I do want to bring awareness to workplace environment, particularly during these times where, people are quote-unquote trapped or secluded in or isolated in because of the COVID, and a lot of that bottled up energy and frustrations. You want to be very mindful of your interactions in the workplace, not necessarily just in healthcare, but in all fields, financial institutes, warehouses as such. I mean, many, even, the Department of Education and your schools and things of that nature, a lot of that energy needs to be diffused, okay? So my recommendation for those who will be listening in or maybe listening in, I tend to notice that if you put on some softer music and bring in a soft palette scheme, that's a soft color palette scheme, soft music with some light floral, nice scents. It may not necessarily be floral scents, but some nice, pleasant fragrances. That would change most people's mood. Just bring in a softer side of music, a nice, common feel into a lot of the environments, and that in itself will help to engage the person's, even if they had hell in them and anger and vengeance. It would do a lot to the senses. It would do a lot to change their mind on certain things just by doing those things, So I felt the need to speak on that topic today for whatever reason. And so I am going to conclude this podcast episode today for the daily reading. And I thank you for listening in. Have a safe and wonderful day. Good day.